Hi, this is Regeline Sabat, also known as Gigi, and you're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Amy P. Kelly. Amy P. Kelly is our keynote speaker for our upcoming Global Cancer Conference this Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Thank you for having me, Gigi. It's great to be here.
Likewise, it's such an honor to have you here today. Now, Amy, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit more about you and where are you from?
Well, I was born and I'm currently residing in Virginia. I was born in Charlottesville, Virginia, and have lived all over the country and then ended up coming back to Virginia. And that was really connected to our subject matter. My mom got cancer. And I also ended up meeting my husband here and have lived in Virginia for the past 23 years. So, and this year I'm married for 22 years. So it's I love Virginia. I am in my professional career a human resources and learning and development executive, author, and speaker, and have had a women's fitness center and spa where we actually had a membership that was in honor of my mom, and we worked with women who were going through cancer treatment. So they were able to work out for free, and we tried to support them. The idea was to support them in doing something that would be good for their mental and physical well-being during their treatment. So, and that came through a lot of cancer fitness studying and a lot of interaction with my mom's surgeon and medical team at Johns Hopkins, just the relationship between being able to do some level of physical activity and how that helps during treatment and also lowers the risk of recurrence. So that's part of my background too, as a business owner.
Thank you, Amy. Now, you do have three questions that came in from an anonymous source.
Okay.
The first question is, what is cancer?
So, that it was explained to me in a great way by my mom's doctors the first time. Just, it's cells that have gone wrong. They're cells in your body, and there are different types of ways that cells can just start to become things that are not productive in the human organism, and those are cancer cells. And then your body is trying to deal with that, and those cells are actually an illness, and different types of cancers occur, but it's a negative impact on your body, and different ways that gets treated, and different types of cancers that are out there that we know about. So cells gone wrong.
Excellent. And now the next question is, what advice would you give to someone who has just been diagnosed with cancer?
The first advice I would give is to pray. And that's because I've seen that in many cases to make a huge difference, which is probably going to come up in another one of our questions. What I would also say is that from the many people, multiple family members and multiple close friends who have dealt with this, what I would do is talk to other people that have been through cancer, because it's hard for me to give any type of advice, because I think that the best help that I've heard of has come from other people that have been there. I have a very good friend and colleague too that recently went through cancer, and some of the best support and understanding and advice that she got was from other people that had walked that walk. So while I think that my experience is relevant as a close family member of someone and multiple people that have had cancer, I would say talk to someone that has been through it, and they'll help you to make good decisions about what some of the things are that you can do next. Because most people that I've talked to, want to get second opinions, find the right support. And ultimately, I think that everyone's path is a little bit unique, but the most helpful and supportive things that I've heard that have really worked to give people that strength in such a horribly jarring kind of news is talking to someone who understands, so that you can feel that understanding and know that there's a path forward. and start thinking about how that's going to look and envisioning how to get to the other side of the news that you've just gotten. And there are lots of ways to get that support.
Very inspiring. And of course, you'll be sharing your story this Friday in regards to having a family member who you've witnessed with cancer and unfortunately passed away as well. And so my condolences, Amy.
Thank you, Gigi. I am. I do not like that my mom passed away from cancer, and she did go to be with the Lord on Thanksgiving. And even all these years later, I am very grateful that that was the day, because it's a great day to give thanks for her. I do not like what she had to go through. I am regularly marveling at many of the people that I know who have survived cancer and who are also currently dealing with cancer and fighting cancer. And I can honestly say I regularly think, there's no way to understand what that's like until it happens to you. So even with all of the fear and the emotion and the challenges that a family member goes through, wanting to help, wanting to save, wanting to make a difference, it doesn't come close to what it's like for the person. And so it's a harrowing experience that I do know that having support from people who are also going through it has provided the best type of empathy and understanding and hope, because I've also met many people who have survived and who continue to find new success stories and victories for people with cancer.
Amen. Very powerful. And now the last question here is there a cure for cancer?
Well, I believe that there will be one. I believe cancer can be healed, because I know people who've been healed of cancer, and I know that there are people who have gotten into treatment programs that have received a quote cure for cancer. If someone were to ask me about the current state of cancer cures, I would refer that to a medical professional to give us the most up-to-date status on cures for cancer. But that's been my experience. I've seen people be healed. I've seen people get in treatment programs that have led to what they would call a cure. And I do know that there are lots of researchers working on cures, because I've been involved in some fundraising and gotten to hear really encouraging updates. And then the overall cancer cure update, I would ask a medical professional.
I love it. I love how hopeful you are in regards to a cure for cancer. And I'm very hopeful as well. And prayer truly matters. Now, Amy, where can the audience find you?
Well, if someone is interested in talking to me, you can find me at amypkelly.com. And that P is my grandmother's name, Pauline. And the reason I bring it up is the P is in between Amy and Kelly, because I use that a lot, because it stands for, to me, the power on the inside of each person to fulfill their purpose. And you can find me on Twitter at Amy P. Kelly. And I really believe that when we go to work, I do a lot of work in people development, and that you bring the whole person to work. So in addition to just wanting to make a difference and to encourage and to share stories, because I know that helps people, and that we can all help others by sharing victories and in stories, I think that we need to talk about these things in relation to work too, because a lot of people still work. I've been in roles where I've had people in companies that are going through cancer treatment. They're coming to work every day. And how do you support people during that time? How hard is it to go to work when you're going to treatment, when your body is so frail, and also you're so you're concerned, you're worried, you're scared, you're fearful, and you're still, looking to perform your job because you need to. Many people, they just don't have a choice. So all these things, I love what you're doing. I love that you never know. My sharing hopefully will be beneficial to someone. And I think that if you want to reach out on any of these topics, I'm always interested in connecting with people who just are seeking someone who is also going to listen and share stories and help where it's possible, because one person can make a huge difference. So to someone that I can help and someone can help me. And just like you're doing, one person at a time, we can all make a big impact.
Amen. Very powerful. And you're absolutely correct in regards to folks in business also experiencing cancer, or a family member who's had cancer. And so it's so important to have these discussions. And oftentimes in our society, there's a stigma that says, well, if this person is in business, they don't know anything about cancer, they haven't experienced anything with cancer, they haven't experienced any challenges. And that's not the case. That is not the case.
Well, you're right. So it's very, I've oftentimes found myself just my heart breaking because, and wanting to find solutions, because the person who's working is going through so much. They're trying to keep their job. They need their health insurance. They want to get well. They, believe they're getting well, but they're still going through treatment and it's hard. Then their team members want to be supportive, but don't really know what to do. Their manager doesn't know how to, and I guess it doesn't have to be complicated, but it is challenging when you haven't experienced something and all of a sudden you're in the workplace and you want to be helpful and you want to understand how to be best supportive. And there are lots of resources out there for that. So that the American Cancer Society, lots of different organizations actually provide those types of education assets. And they are helpful because anytime that you are going through something, the people that support you are also, they need resources and help. And talking about it actually gives people the opportunity to address it, to communicate, to bond, to connect, and to come through it. And when it's not addressed and just people feel like they have to, separate, and you can be very personal and still be professional. And it does take support to be able to do that well and still be a good steward of the company's, goals, objectives, finances, the protected nature of someone who is going through cancer and cancer treatment, helping them with what they're going through, and then also helping their team be an extension of the support. It's, you have to actually be intentional and have a plan and understand what's happening. So when people, a lot of times because people are afraid of doing something wrong, or they don't know, or they think they're not supposed to talk about it, that just actually creates isolation that only, potentially hurts the person, that needs the support, and also doesn't, help work get done, because communication needs to be flowing. So talking about these things, getting the resources for support, it allows organizations to keep moving forward and to also be aware of the resources that are available to help everyone get through such a time of difficulty.
I agree. Very powerful. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure to tune in this Friday to hear more of what Amy has to say, and also the other amazing speakers as well. And we truly appreciate our sponsors of this event for the Global Cancer Conference. And make sure to reserve your virtual seat today. That's the Global Cancer Conference. You can reserve your virtual seat on Eventbrite, or also type in the search engine on Facebook, Global Cancer Conference, and you'll be able to reserve your virtual seat. That's this Friday, April 15th at 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then. God bless.